Hi guys, I just got back. I feel like night and day almost if I wasn't so exhausted. I went for a walk. I showed you the video. I come back in, um, and I feel like I'm a new person. I mean, I'm still exhausted. I haven't had any sleep, but it goes away. I sit down. I'm cooled off for the most part. Um, and I feel terrific. Now, I mean, I don't feel terrific, but I feel terrific as far as getting away from the heat, this torture. Okay, the neighbor next door peeks his head out. He's supposedly the eyes and ears. And there's a mentally ill person in the building. So why would you continually harass somebody that they're mentally ill and make fun of a woman alone when supposedly you have a friend here who's mentally ill? So this is the disconnect with people. It was the same way at the YWCA. There's people there dealing with drug addiction. There's people there, trying to escape a domestic violence. But you know what? Actually, there isn't. You know what there's there? There's a club there of women that are like men that bully you, that abuse you, and they want to keep the housing for themselves. And then when somebody does come there and they're trying to escape violence, this is what they face. They're subject to this kind of bullying, harassment, threats of violence. They tried to steal my phone. They're making up this stuff that I, put the excrement in the toilet. Why the hell would you put excrement on the toilet when you're outside? You're looking for a place to live. You're grateful that you got in there. The rent, yes, the one across the way, she always had an opinion about it, or he. I'm not sure what they are. It seems to me if you're in transition, you shouldn't be telling other people how to live their life. I didn't bother the person. I didn't do anything I wasn't in some sort of disagreement with them. I was trying to be considerate and compassionate and respect their rights. The problem is they don't respect mine. Okay, so you go to a place that you're supposed to be safe, you're supposed to be fleeing violence, come up with a program, do something. But this is what these people are allowed to do. They roam around like a bunch of thugs, threatening people, intimidating them at the dumpsters, stalking them outside, starting fights, right out in front of staff, and everything's perfectly fine. Just like here, this person just peeks their head out the door. He's supposedly the eyes and ears. He takes my mail. I think that was him. He wrote a letter. Don't touch my mail. Why not worry about what you're supposed to be worrying about with the eyes and ears? If there's something, chemical smells in the hallway, or people are partying and doing meth, or whatever, crack, or whatever people are telling me. I don't know. That's not my concern. But it seems to me there is a big concern when you're brandishing some sort of weapon, some sort of alternative technology, and you're terrorizing and tormenting someone so they have burn marks, and they're doing this sort of thing, which is my contention with the people in the building. And they pass this device amongst themselves, and you can see this orb thing here flowing into the room. It could be a ruse to say, oh, you start talking about spiritual things, and right away they can tell you, oh, you're crazy. But it seems to coincide with I sat there and I've watched these things, and they seem to accumulate around where the heat source is. Is it coincidence? Is it some sort of, it's spiritual? There's nothing spiritual about what's going on here. But what they like to do oftentimes is like to derail things into this crazy thing. Oh, it's crazy. It's crazy. You know what? It seems to me law enforcement would be interested in a weapon of alternate technology. No, they go on and on about people brandishing guns, but you talk about this situation. Oh, well, I don't know what harassment is. Why don't you? Or they want you to define what harassment is. And they did the same thing with domestic violence. They have absolutely no clue, but these are the people that we've tasked to respond to these situations. Obviously, if this is a thing, which I contend it is now, we're going to have more of this. Can you imagine? You can harass and torture someone from another apartment, and we don't have a name for this. You can harass and torture someone down the street, and the person, from down the street, and the person don't know what's happening to them in an apartment, and you can get this sick. I can go outside and 15 minutes later take a nice fresh walk, or fresh air. I went on the bus. I went up just to get out a little while, just to cool this down, whatever it is. And I'm fine. I sat in the chair. I sat in the seats on the bus. I didn't have any problem. But obviously, law enforcement isn't interested in a weapon like this. Seems to me if people are building these weapons in an apartment and using them to torture civilians, it seems to me there should be something checked out about it. But you know what it is? They marginalize these people. 10 years ago, I read this stuff when the internet was first getting underway. We got computers and then the internet, and you get all this stuff. So of course, you're trying to figure out what gaslighting is. They told us gaslighting was crazy too, wasn't it? Men often will tell you, oh, I don't know what you're talking about. All my bros think you're crazy. Oh, and meanwhile, there's snicker, that whole Beavis and Butthead thing. They know what they're doing. And here I am 20 years later, after judges take all my assets away, throw me on the street. And now I understand, oh, they knew all along what gaslighting was. They knew all along about all this filthy shit that they did behind my back. You know what? The women that don't have any evidence, it's a horrible uphill battle. Every single one of these men, including the police officers, are lying. Lie. They're all liars. They all know it. And now one of them is a police chief. One of them is a police chief now. And he continues the lies. They continue the lies with others. And, this neighbor here peeks his head out. He knows what he's doing. And yes, these people are putting together some sort of torture weapon to torture women alone in an apartment. I mean, get a life, okay? Yes, this is my contention. And it's this one upstairs. He follows me around. They have shifts in and out all night long, and they stalk you around the entire room. It's like white on rice. You get up in a chair, he moves the thing. You go over to the bed, he moves the thing. You go into the kitchen, he moves the thing. It's this constant predation and stalking with whatever this device is, and it seems to me somebody should be interested in it. There's information on it. They show you how to build it. People are talking about it, but here we go. Law enforcement isn't interested. Well, let me tell you something. What are they interested in, okay? Because they constantly want to look for guns. He was here. The police officers were here talking to this gentleman next door. Oh, they're all friends. Oh, yes. The police officers came, are friends with these guys. Don't you know John? No, I don't know John, and I don't want to know him because obviously he's a torturer, and that's my contention. Be safe out there, guys, because this is what women face coming inside and dealing with these predators and these torturers. Be safe.